Good morning, graduates. Let's try that again. Good morning, graduates. That's better. Thank you, Dean Hickey, for the kind introduction, and especially for the gracious invitation to be with all of you on this very special day. To be honest, it's an honor that I never imagined, and it's caused me to reflect on how I got here. I have to tell you that this year alone, it's been quite a journey. In January, I was in Morocco with one of my former students who won a Fulbright to study women's social entrepreneurship there. I then went to Uganda and Rwanda to visit social enterprises we've helped accelerate through our work at Miller Center. These are ventures that bring safe drinking water, clean energy, sustainable agriculture, and dignified livelihoods to the communities that they serve. I continued on to Nairobi, where in partnership with GE Ventures and its Health Imagination program, we graduated the first cohort of social enterprises focused on maternal and child health. I have to tell you that spending time with all of these young people who are trying to change the world, it really inspires me and it moves me. In March, I was scuba diving in Micronesia, Truk, Yap, and Palau, witnessing the wrecks of World War II and the beauty and biodiversity of our planet's fragile and perishing coral reefs. Earlier this month, I was in Washington, D.C. with another one of my former students who worked with a social enterprise in Nepal that economically empowers women as clean energy entrepreneurs. So this year alone, it's been quite a journey to come back to Austin and share this special day with all of you. And as I reflected on what I might share with you, I realized that if you're doing graduation right, most of the graduates are not going to remember much of what I say. So I thought I'd try and keep it really simple and offer you just two words: stability and mobility. You got it? Let's hear it. Ready? Stability and mobility. I have to do that better. One more time. Ready? Stability and mobility. All right. Thank you very much. Just kidding. Let me tell you a little bit more about what I mean about that. So I graduated from UT Austin in 1983, before I think pretty much all of you graduates were born. And when I tell people I went to UT Austin, they usually say something to the effect of, "Oh, you're from Texas." Well, that's been challenging for me to respond to. You see, I was born in Seattle. 6 months later, we moved to Alabama. 6 months later to New Orleans, Louisiana, where my younger brother was born, and he actually has his bachelor's and PhD from UT Austin right here. Then back to Seattle, then to Alaska, then back to Seattle, and in my sophomore year of high school to Katy, Texas. Thank you, Katy grads. Yeah. So it was a childhood of geographic mobility. And a lot of you are probably thinking right now, because this is a response I get about 60% of the time, "Oh, military?" Well, no, because your graduation's going to be supposed to be a joyous day. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'll just say it was also a childhood of emotional mobility. If you read Running with Scissors, that's kind of a PG version of my childhood. So how did I get here? Well, I chose UT Austin for a couple of reasons. One, I won 2 scholarships. One that stipulated I stay in Texas, and the other that I major in chemistry. And that provided some financial stability for someone putting himself through college. The other reason is I had really good friends who were coming here to UT Austin, and I wanted to be with them. So that was some emotional stability after my childhood. In fact, a couple of them are here with us today, and I introduced 2 of them to each other outside this very venue, which we called the Special Events Center back then, when we were camping out for Bruce Springsteen concert tickets. Now, for you graduates, you may have heard tales from your parents, that's how we got concert tickets in the old days. We had to camp out in line for them. 5 years later, they asked me to be best man at their wedding, which I accepted, of course. And their 2 boys are now grown, and the youngest just graduated from another school in Texas, whose name I will not say today. So my point here is that true friendships last a lifetime. They provide a stability that you can really depend upon, along with lasting memories like dancing on the tables to funky music, quite badly, I might add, at the hole in the wall. So I hope that many of you as graduates have forged friendships here at UT that will endure a lifetime. And you might reflect on those for just a moment. Who's a special friend that you've made here, platonic or romantic, that you want to share the rest of your life with? The stability of those friendships is something that will help you as you move through life's inevitable challenges. No matter how far apart you are. It's kind of like a quantum connection in some ways, if you remember your quantum mechanics course. And the stability and mobility you'll see here, as you move through life's challenges, you can depend on these friendships, are really two sides of the same coin. Kind of the yin and the yang, or the protons and electrons of being. They're opposite, but they're inextricably linked. Consider your parents and family members who joined you here today and their physical mobility. They're likely also very emotionally moved with pride at your graduation. But for most of you, I hope that they provided a nurturing and stable home as you move through your lives to this point in time. So I'd like to just take a moment and ask you graduates once again to thank your parents for all they've done to get you to this point. Thank you, parents. Do we have any grandparents here today? Yeah? My grandmother, perhaps like some of your great-grandparents, was a survivor of the Great Depression. And there was always a sense of scarcity, having struggled through dark economic times. I remember her, Grandmother Dubrava, saying, "No one can take your education away from you, Thane. Get as much as you can." So your education provides a foundation and stability, but it also offers you mobility. I imagine that most of your minds have been moved by the incredible faculty here at the College of Natural Sciences. I still remember some of my favorite professors and how they moved my mind and caused me to discover things in myself that led me to pursue vocational opportunities. So that stable foundation, as you move through your vocational journeys, is more important now than ever. The rate of change of science and technology is accelerating, and new opportunities will evolve from your foundation that open up different vocational endeavors that you might have never imagined. As an example, when I was an undergraduate here, I never imagined that I would be a pioneer in the revolution of genetic analysis from one gene at a time to whole genome analysis. I never imagined that I would be the startup CEO for 3 different biotech companies. And it certainly did not occur to me that all of my experience, all of my passions, all of my time could be put to work to address the most pressing problems of humanity and our one planet Earth. Indeed, I never imagined that I would lead a center for social entrepreneurship in the heart of Silicon Valley, because the concept of social entrepreneurship didn't yet exist. Nor did I imagine that it would be possible to work with 660 social enterprises in 65 countries to positively impact the lives of 230 million people. Economic mobility occurs on foundations of clean energy, safe drinking water, good food, health, education, dignified livelihoods, and gender equality. These are elements of stable societies. As you embark on your vocational journeys, let mobility and stability be forces that drive you to pursue and discover the unimaginable. Whatever your major, you can discern a metaphor for mobility and stability. The fidelity of the genetic code, the agility of evolution, the gravitational pull of an ever-expanding universe, the stability of chemical bonds, the mobility of subatomic particles. How will you use this foundation of your world-class education at UT Austin to move the world to a better place? What moves you and what makes you move through life? And when you're moving, what keeps you anchored? As you continue to grow, and I hope that you all will, in all dimensions, intellectually, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Let the power and purpose of your passions drive your mobility, and let the bonds of love hold you firm. Congratulations, and thank you.